Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my podcast, Shanique's Talk and Create. And in this podcast episode, I'm going to be talking about being persistent in everything that you do. If you have a to-do list, complete it. If you have goals, write them off. Stop putting off cleaning out that fridge or freezer. Stop saying you're going to clean that closet and then you don't. Stop changing your mind every time you say you're going to have a night out to yourself. Then you wind up staying in. Start treating yourself. You deserve it. Whether you're working a 9 to 5 or if you're working a graveyard shift or you're a stay-at-home mom or dad and so on, take yourself out. Start doing things that you like to do. Start keeping your word, not for others, but for yourself. You deserve to keep your promises to yourself. You need to start staying consistent in your prayer life. Put God first and keep your promises to God. That's number one. Tired or not, make it happen. People aren't doing good in their life because they're making excuses or sleeping. They're doing good in life because they put in the work, right? Am I right or no? Let me know. When you're persistent in anything that you do, little by little, you start seeing progress. You start seeing the blessings that God has for you come into fruition because you stayed consistent and persistent. You didn't give into the devil's works or evil thoughts and doings. You kept the faith and continued to pray, study your Bible, and be content. Being content is an important way to stay consistent as well because you start to see and realize what truly matters and what doesn't. If it don't involve God, let it go. That's another way to stay persistent and on the path that God already set for your life. Write down some of the things that keep you going. Right? Stay prayed up. The devil is always lurking. Make sure he catch you praying. Get behind me, Satan, right? If you said you're going to do something, do it. Don't say that you're going to do something and then you don't fall through with it, Then you disappoint yourself like that too because, you're like, hey, this is something I want to do, as a thought. And then when you go to play it out, in real life, you're not really putting in the work to do what you said you were going to do in the first place. Again, write down some things that keep you going. You can start with God, your partner, your children, family, etc. And also write down a list of what you feel is holding you back from staying consistent and persistent. You could weigh the pros and cons. You could write a list of that. I think that's, some of the major things that will definitely help with staying persistent and consistent in everything that you do. Sometimes making a to-do list helps, or you could even write down in your notes your goals and check them off one by one as you complete them. That helps too. Or you can even set reminders on your phone. These smartphones today, they have like almost everything on it. You can set reminders and be like, I have to go pick up this and that and go shop for this and go shop for that. Things like that help you to stay on track, consistent, and persistent. Getting things done on time and early as possible will help you to stay consistent as well. Because when you do it when it's supposed to get done and you get it out the way, then you feel like more up for it to, set yourself up for another challenge, but maybe more extreme next time, right? Because you were able to do that task when it was supposed to get done. Now you want to try something else. You could do that too. When you challenge yourself, that helps you to stay consistent as well. Also, if you have friends or family members to support you in completing your goals, that'll help you as well. Having someone to remind you and help you to keep on track for what you said you were going to do to, better yourself in certain areas of your life. So definitely if you don't have that, you could even go on social media. They have influencers on there, for different things. And if you feel like it relates to you, you could definitely, look into that as well. I feel like it all depends on the goals that you set. What is it that you're trying to complete and get better at in life, or whatever it is you always wanted to do, and now you're willing to start on it and put in the work. Only you know these things. So if you feel like, hey, I feel like I'm slacking, talk to a friend or maybe a close family member that you feel comfortable talking to, and let them know what's going on. Like, look, I need your help with something, that I'm trying to, scratch off. This is something I want to succeed in. Do you have any tips or ideas of how I can do this? Because I always say two brains, two people, right, are better than one. It's always good to have a second opinion, because not having a second opinion will have you thinking that everything that you're doing is correct. And nobody's always correct, right? And there's nothing wrong with having a second input, because maybe you're doing something wrong that you think you're doing right, and this person could maybe help you with. So always get a second opinion. You never know. You might need more information. You just never know. Or maybe you started, working on your goal a little too soon. Maybe you need a little more research done. Try to focus on that. Did I do enough research? Did I, gather up all the information that I need to complete this goal? Things like that will help you to stay consistent as well. Making sure that you have all the information and things that you need to complete this goal or goals that you have in life. If you have at least one person in your life that will hold you accountable if you fall off, or you feel like you're falling off, or they feel like you're not staying consistent, definitely, keep them in the loop of what's going on with you completing your goals, because a lot of times, sometimes we just need a little nudge or a push and be like, hey, it's okay. It's okay to do this. You might be scared, but it's okay to do this. Don't be weary, because God got you. The Most High is not gonna let anyone, bad eye you or stop you from completing your goals. If the Most High protects you, there's nothing nobody could do about it. There's a scripture in the Bible that said, "Who God bless, no man can curse." Okay, definitely keep that in mind. Also, right, when you're completing your goals, you're gonna have to make more time than you would actually expect to make time to do these things. Whether you feel like you're tired, drained, or want to sleep, you're gonna still have to do the work. Whether or not you feel exhausted or tired or anything like that, if you look up if you just look up how, people became rich or are rich now, they will let you know, they stayed consistent. They stayed consistent. They kept putting in the work, until they got there. And then even when they got there, they continued to do the work. So even when you reach your goal or you complete it, don't stop there. Keep going. That's how you get better at life and get better at certain things in your life. When you keep going and you don't stop right after one goal that you completed, that's how you start to stay consistent, persistent. When you keep going, keep putting in the work, keep practicing. That's all it's about, because nobody's perfect. But practice definitely has effort, so when you put in the effort and you make the time, most definitely that's how you stay consistent and persistent. Think about how it would make you feel to complete a goal that you thought you would never complete ever in your life. Something major or drastic, or maybe something that you've been thinking about for a long time. and then you just kept putting it off, or be like, oh, it's too soon, or not right now. Why don't you start telling yourself positive things instead of, oh, it's too soon and not right now, or just fear that nobody would actually understand, where you're coming from. With wanting to complete your goals and staying consistent in life and everything that you do and what makes you, definitely. I feel like knowing your self-worth helps you to stay consistent as well. Because when you know your worth, you're not going to just settle for anything. You're not going to just take no for an answer. You're going to, again, stay consistent and persistent if this is something that you really want to do in life. It's just like, a little kid that wants to, go to a pizza party in the school. And the teacher's like, okay, you have to make sure you do all of your classwork and homework for the next 2 weeks. You have to have all your stars on your chart saying that you completed everything and your behavior was good, things like that. If everything is in order, then you can go to the pizza party. This child is thinking in their head, okay, let me do whatever it is I have to do in order to go there. You want to be like that kid that wants to go to the pizza party. Staying consistent, making sure you do everything when you're supposed to do it, so that when, you reach it, you're like, wow, I see why people say put in the effort. Stay consistent, stay persistent, because when you're on that path and you're ready to put in the work and you have, good people in your corner vouching for you, and God is protecting you and making sure that you're safe while you're doing these things, I feel like there's nothing or no one that can stop you, When you finish listening to this, think about everything that I said and, make a list and be like, maybe write down a question. What is it that I want to achieve in life? What goals do I want to succeed in, and write off and say that this is something I did, but I didn't stop there. I continued, succeeding in my goals and staying consistent. Things like that will help you to make better choices and positive choices that could benefit your life in major ways, So most definitely do that. It helps because I did it, and it definitely helps for sure. Staying consistent, keeping your mind on the right track, where it should be to do these things that you wanted to do. I feel like staying consistent means ditching the naysayers and avoiding those people that are not willing to succeed in life, or that want to better their life or become better in certain areas of their life. Don't have people in your corner that's, trying to tell you, hey, don't do that, don't do this. Why you gotta do that? Like, you sure you want to do that? It's because they feel for themselves that they can't achieve certain things, so then they project that onto others. Definitely be careful with these kind of people and do not keep them around you. Those are not your people. Your people is going to support you 110% at all times. They're not going to half support you. No, none whatsoever. And if you have kids and you feel like they help you to keep going, use that as your support crew, or just support in general to help you keep going and succeeding and completing your goals. Or if you just have someone dear to you that, they will always be there for you, or they try to be there for you as best as they can, keep them around you too as support to help you keep going and, achieving your goals, and continue going through with it and not stopping and telling yourself that you can't do this. You want people in your corner that tell you, hey, you got this, don't give up. I know you better than this. You also need to tell yourself this as well, because people can do but so much if you don't, Give yourself 110%. What others give you doesn't really matter. You definitely got to put in the work for yourself. Give yourself this, type of support as well, because what if you don't have a person or certain people in your life that could support you on your journey with your goals? So you got to think about that too when you set goals that you want to achieve in life, and maybe you don't have nobody vouching for you or, supporting you. Support yourself. Just keep God first. He's going to support you, and you do the work, support you too. Most definitely. Don't stop because somebody tells you can't. That you can't is just a projection of themselves, of what they feel like they cannot do. Don't listen to that, because those kind of people, they've been living in fear their whole damn life. So they don't know, success or motivation or inspiration or consistency when they see it, because their whole life they've been telling themselves, oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that. But just because you tell yourself that doesn't mean that you're supposed to project that onto others, or even tell yourself it's impossible. Whatever you tell yourself, that's what it's going to do. If you're one of those people, change your mindset. Focus on changing your mindset. They have a lot of research you can look into that will help you to stay consistent and shy away from negative people, negative thoughts, negative things altogether, So I say just be mindful of who's around you, what you're listening to, what you're watching, things like that, because that also plays a role in you staying consistent and persistent. What you have around you, what's supporting your aura. When you are focusing on staying positive and achieving your goals, you're not going to let these kind of things get to you. Even if it comes as a test from God, still think to yourself, no, I have to do this. I got to get this done. And I know God wouldn't have, me doing this test and then fail. That's another part of staying consistent too, is reminding yourself that certain things are just a test. It's not permanent. Some things are just there to test you, to see if you're gonna pass or fail. And if you don't pass, God is gonna keep having you go through this same cycle until you get it right. And he sees, okay, she's ready. She's ready to level up spiritually and, do what it is that she's supposed to do to make changes for the better and positivity, to flow in and flow through her life. If you don't have a person that you could talk to or you feel like you trust, you could even talk to God. Talk to him in prayer. Talk to him like you talk to somebody that's right in front of you. And you could even write down your thoughts in a journal or notebook. It don't matter, whatever you feel that is better for you, do that. No excuses. We all going through something, but we don't have to make it, our whole life mission, This is the end of the podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe while you're here. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, thank you.